This is my gourd patch. This is the birdhouse gourds that I paint. It's doing really, really well. And these are held up by a cattle handle. And I'll try to zoom in on one gourd, see if I can see it. And it's doing that right there. Gourds. And then I have it mixed in between another watermelon vine. There's the eggplants. No eggplants yet. And the zucchini is just going crazy, but not producing that much zucchinis, which is kind of surprising. Got a few here and there. I mean, I'm glad it's not producing too much because, I mean, my goodness, I can only eat so much zucchini. Here's one of my comfrey patches. And this is what I make the comfrey salve out of, and I also use it as fertilizer. And my little peach tree, it did really good this year. It gave us some really wonderful peaches. These are very good peaches. And the plum tree, not so good. I think it's because of the aphid infestation and the fact that I didn't spray soon enough. And this is my little vat that I make compost tea in. Dave actually built this. It's really wonderful the way he made it. And I run a little pump when I use a bubbler to supply oxygen to the compost tea. And here's one of my berry plants. Just planted this year, so haven't gotten too many blackberries or raspberries yet, but I'm hoping that I still will get some. I'm not sure, maybe they don't do that well in pots. And here's my wonderful melon patch. I just hope that the melons are as good as they look. And here's one of the really great ones, right there. Big watermelon. And I did find that I have to be careful because when I look at the where the vine touches, it kind of peaks. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. It's kind of hard to see. There. See how it kinks? I need to do something there because the weight of this gigantic melon is pulling the vine right down on the wire. And every one of these little guys that I have a stocking around now is going to grow up and become big. Another melon. And here's a nice big fat melon. And I believe they're two different kind of melons, so we'll see. Here's that great spinach that I was talking about, the Malabar spinach. And see how it just climbs up the vine? Perfect spinach. Awesome. And my cherry tree, one of them anyway, it's growing fine, and I gotten some other ones to replace the one that died. And let's walk around. Here's the strawberry tower. It's getting some strawberries. Kathy's little fig tree. Here's the other strawberry tower. This one actually gave a lot of strawberries this year, but still not as many as I was hoping. One of my little orange trees in the tub. It's actually got a couple of oranges on it already. Right there. Let's see if I can zoom in. There's an orange. There's another one. And here's my blackjack fig, and it is loaded with figs. It's got figs everywhere. Let's hope they're good this year. And I put carrots in pots, chives. And here's my other strawberry patch. These actually gave a lot of strawberries this year. And I did find that strawberries like a lot of fertilizer and a lot of water. Here's my pear tree that I started in a pot, but I will be moving it to the front yard into the ground. And the same with the peach tree. I'm going to move it out of the pot. Didn't give any peaches this year. The apricot tree as well. And here is another one of my little orange trees. It's a dwarf orange, and I put a strawberry plant right below the pot. And this I put in stinging nettle and chamomile. And I got one of my little blue jays complaining right there. It's one of the blue jay babies. Hi! Hi! You gonna get some worms? Yeah. They're a lot of fun to watch. In fact, the mom came back, which is kind of a miracle because where they released her after we took her to the hospital, she was hurt. And we took her to the hospital, an animal rescue place, and we both didn't think that she would find her way back home, but she did. So we have 6, actually officially called scrub jays instead of blue jays. It's a type of blue jay. So let's continue with our tour. This is the lemon tree that I grew from a seed. No lemons yet. And this is a dwarf orange. And here are some fig cuttings that I grew from cuttings, and I potted them up. We'll see how they develop. And this little orange tree actually is producing lots of flowers. Oranges. So let's go in the garden. There's some chives that put in pots. And this is a little plum tree. I took a cutting and I rooted it and I put it in a pot. It's doing nicely. Asparagus in pots produced a lot of asparagus. I'm really surprised. Potatoes, I wouldn't do again in pots. This weather is just too hot for potatoes. So let's go around here. This is 3 cherry trees that I ordered off of eBay. They're doing well. I'm going to be putting them in the ground. And here is the lemon tree that we rescued. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. It was actually, I took an air layering and it worked. And so now I have a lemon tree growing. Boysenberry did not do well. Still no boysenberries, but they say it can take 3 years. There's the corn. And here's the lemon tree that we rescued. It was actually totally intertwined with a jade plant. And I'm surprised that we were able to save it. And this is a volunteer butternut squash that came up because it was in my compost. Not sure what these guys are, but I think these might be sunflowers. We'll see. So let's go around here, look at the tomatoes. Tomatoes are doing good now, but they had gotten some wilt because of the hot weather. So what I did is I put shade cloth on top of my first 3 rows, my garden beds. And this is one of my cabbages. I'm going to harvest it tomorrow and include it in my sauerkraut canning. There's the oregano. And a little tiny thyme. And here's the pepper, one of the pepper plants. Let's see if we can see a pepper on here. Right there. That's going to be big enough pretty soon to make full peppers. And this cucumber plant has produced so many beautiful long cucumbers. This is a lemon cucumber. I'm not real sure if I would plant that again, but this is what they look like. Lots of blossoms, so it's going to have thousands of little cucumbers. So I'm going to be giving those away. This plant's still healthy, producing cucumbers. This one, how long? Just amazing cucumbers. Another comfrey plant. And Dave built this awesome trellis out of catapanel. And I planted pepper plants there and intertwined with some watermelon. Actually, I think it might be honeydew, I'm not sure. It's doing good. Here's a fig tree that is now in the second year and still has not produced figs. So if it's not doing anything by next year, it's gonna go bye-bye. It's my kale plant. It's doing really good. And here's the fava beans, the last of the fava beans that I took off. I'm going to probably let them dry out to be seeds. Cherry tomato, lots of cherry tomatoes. They're the orange kind and they're good, but I would say I like the red ones better. Here's what I planted, kohlrabi out of seedlings. And here's my beautiful basil plant. So let's go around the corner. And I think this is where we started. So another kale. And here's where I put all my asparagus. That's going to be, next year, it's going to be exploding with asparagus. And some more kohlrabi. So that concludes the tour. And I'm sure there's so much more to say. Here's the big aloe vera that I planted in here. That's actually the aloe vera that you can take internally. It's called the Stockton Miller variety. And let me go around and show you guys my little avocado tree that we will have to move because Dave is planning to build the treehouse right here in this area. I mean, not the treehouse, the greenhouse. Here is the avocado tree. It's doing really good finally. Over the first year, it almost died. I found out avocado is actually pretty hard to grow when you first started off, so it took a lot of work to keep it alive. Some more chives. Love chives with cucumber. Make my German cucumber salad. I'm going to go in here and see if I can see some gourds and show you guys what they look like. Let me see if I can find one. Right there, look at that one. Isn't that awesome? It's going to make a beautiful long neck gourd and it has lots of little gourds on it. So we're going to have lots of art projects. And actually you can eat the gourds. You know, melon. And gourds are in the melon family, I believe. Let me see if I can find another little gourd. Right there, some more. Beautiful gourds. Beautiful ones. Gourds have some gorgeous big leaves. Let's try to find the big one. I have to be careful I don't fall in that hole right there. Wouldn't that be a heck of a video? Let's see, where's the big hole? Look at these guys. That's something. I find gourds to be amazing, amazing vegetables. It's actually a vegetable. Here it is. Let me see if I can get that picture. See that one? That's one. Pretty amazing. And right above it, right there, right in there, let me see again the leaf. There's a bigger one. So, what I do, I go by here about once a day because they grow that fast. They're vines and they keep going. See the little tendrils? They grab onto everything and they just keep going, trying to see how the vines just. Let me see, zoom in on this one. The vines just keep going and going and going. I could have my whole yard full of gourds. So let me get past here. Here's some more gourds. And don't have any gigantic ones yet. A little tiny one right there. They just make all different shapes. And then what you do with the gourds, oh, look at this one, oh cutie. And what you do with the gourds, it takes them a year to dry out. And look at comfrey. It's my beautiful comfrey. I harvest a lot of that. What I do with the comfrey leaves, I cut them off and then I use them either as making salve by putting it in either olive oil or coconut oil, and I put it in my water bath, like the what is it called? Well, anyway, you put it in warm water and you let it sit for a couple of hours, and then you drain it and put it through a sieve, and you add beeswax and some vitamin E oil. You make sap out of that. Or you can cut off the leaves and use it as fertilizer or put it in compost tea. And you can make also fermented plant juice, which I have done this year. So, as you can see, there's lots of projects going on. And thank God Dave is helping me. So, say goodbye to the gourds. One more little gourd right there. That's what the flower looks like. Isn't that beautiful? And look at all the gourds right here. Look at that gourd. Look at this one right there. See how it turns kind of around? That's going to be an interesting shape. Ooh, I found the bigger one. Look at this one right there. There's a nice big one. I'm going to have to support them pretty soon or they're going to have a hard time. So that's my garden tour. Talk to you guys later.